The knockout phase of the UEFA Champions League will start this week. On Tuesday and Wednesday, we have some tantalizing and exciting fixtures in the biggest inter-club competition in the world, talking about the UEFA Champions League. Remember, this is the knockout stage. This is a stage where you either go hard or you go home. That's why it's called the UEFA Champions League. Welcome to another edition of Sports Hangouts, where we give the latest coming from the ever-busy world of sport. My name is Toby. We'll talk about the UEFA Champions League round of 16 fixtures this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. I promise it to be interesting. I've got JJ here. JJ, how you doing?
Toby, I'm fine. I'm not.
All right, let's start with the early kickoff game on Tuesday. Galatasaray will take on Liverpool. Both teams met in the group phase of this competition. Galatasaray defeated Liverpool, but they are meeting again. This is a knockout stage of the competition. The first leg will be in Turkey, in Istanbul, up against Liverpool. Victor Osimhen should be available for Galatasaray in that game. But over two legs, do you think that Galatasaray can do a double over Liverpool? Because they've beaten them already in the group stage.
Well, like you said, over two legs, that's going to be
difficult.
Huge one for Galatasaray to pull off. And they barely managed themselves to qualify for this round. Although sometimes that sort of performance, it doesn't always translate to what happens in the knockout stages. And the fact that they did beat Juventus in the playoffs, that shows that a lot about the team themselves. They're a young side, and they've got quite this passion and
some quality players as well.
And Istanbul itself is a historic place to go, especially in the history of the UEFA.
I remember 2005.
It's exactly for
Liverpool coming back from 3 goals down.
To beat AC Milan and Istanbul, that's tremendous.
More like the second home for Liverpool.
And Istanbul is a hostile place to really go for.
Turkey,
and of course, Liverpool experienced that firsthand in the league phase when they lost away to Galatasaray. But Anfield is another place, another stadium that it sucks up your entire confidence. And for you to go there and get something, you have to be a really top side.
But what I'm sure is that this tie will not be completed in the first leg.
It won't.
There are some games that after the first leg, that
it won't.
But
it won't, except Liverpool do beat Galatasaray at
if
home.
They win, of course, the second leg will be a
If Liverpool do go to Galatasaray and beat Galatasaray at home, that's going to be. It's going to be difficult for Galatasaray to come to Anfield
and beat them
and beat Liverpool, even if they are not that good. But their home record is still impressive. They are quite a solid team when they are playing at home compared to when they go to Europe, when they go away, either in Europe or in the Gem. But Liverpool have been tremendous in Europe this season.
Yeah.
And so,
even when they were struggling in the league, they were doing very well in the Champions League.
Now they have got rhythm.
Yes,
they've got some rhythm
Premier
back
League.
to the league. And right now, Firon Wirtz, it's really pulling the strings. And thankfully for them, they've just gotten back from injury. So a couple of their players are back from injury. But we don't know. Time will tell. Maybe it's too early or too soon for Firon Wirtz to come into the bed. Apart from him, they've got really good players also to go to Istanbul and get something done.
All right, let's talk about another fixture. Newcastle United up against Barcelona. Now, Newcastle over the weekend lost to Manchester City in the FA Cup. They're out of the FA Cup. And in the Premier League, they've also been struggling in the Premier League. They started very well, but they'll be losing games, even at home. But they are playing against Barcelona. Remember that in the league phase of this competition, they also met, just like the game between Galatasaray and Liverpool. Barcelona defeated Newcastle United away from home. Marcus Rashford was the star man for Barcelona on that night, scoring 2 goals for Barcelona. But this time around, they're playing away to Newcastle United. Newcastle United struggling in the league, but this is the Champions League where they will take on Barcelona. So, JJ, let's talk about this. Newcastle United will host the first leg at the St. James's Park against Barcelona. I know that their last victory on that ground was against United. Painfully, we'll talk about that. But they're talking about they're facing Barcelona. I mean, Barcelona is not Manchester United. Do you think that they can get a win over Barcelona?
Well, I think. All right. Why Manchester United are coming into discussion, in Champions League discussion? If not that you you always intentionally like to throw that jab.
No, not intentionally, because I mean,
so tell me why? Tell me why Manchester United.
Do you know the reason why I had to talk about
their last game at St James's Park against Man United?
Their last win. I'm talking about their last win.
Their last win
at St James's Park was against United. I'm not talking. As I said, their last win on that ground was against Manchester United.
And why do you have to?
Because that was the last time they won at home against a team. It was against United.
But we are talking about Champions League.
And that's what I'm saying.
We're not talking about the Premier League. Champions League is Champions League. Premier League is Premier League.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Their last.
Newcastle United up against Barcelona.
I hope you have played them at home this season. You've gone away to you've gone to St. James Park.
I don't know what you're talking about, but if you're talking about Arsenal,
God should just help you not to lose that game.
Arsenal have beaten Newcastle. I mean, if you're talking about Arsenal, they've beaten Newcastle United away from home. So
you are
that
lucky.
was
You are lucky.
Came back from a good down. Gabriel with a late winner. But let's talk about this.
For the second time in about 6 months now, Newcastle and Barcelona are meeting.
Yes.
And they are meeting at St. James Park again.
Yeah.
And so it's, I think, and then that time Barcelona did come and with
Marcus Rashford, star boy, was fantastic.
They did beat Newcastle at home. So will they be second time lucky against Newcastle at home?
But this is over 2 legs anyway.
It's over 2 legs, and of course Newcastle can't afford to lose at home to Barcelona right now.
Because if they lose the first leg, for me the tie is effectively over.
Barcelona, they're a crazy side when they're at home and when they're playing at home. You know, sometimes you look at teams and you say, okay, home away doesn't matter. For Barcelona, well, you can say home away doesn't matter. They can beat you on their home ground. They can come to your home ground and really cause you a lot of pain too. So you have Newcastle United here. If they are able to, and their form recently,
for Newcastle United,
it's worrisome. It's worrisome because they got beat at home by Manchester City.
Yes.
That was just in the FA Cup and
over
the weekend. They seem to be very inconsistent. That's the point I'm driving at. Newcastle have been really inconsistent this season. And you begin to wonder, is it because they are playing too many competitions? But then you also look at their squad depth. They invested over the summer.
Got some quality.
So why are we even talking about their squad depth? Or why are we talking about playing too many competitions? It's just that I don't think they've got the mentality to be in the mix of
because this is
those
a league
big
of
guys
champions,
right now.
UEFA Champions League.
For you to say, okay, they belong to the likes of
the mental toughness is not there.
City, Liverpool, and all that. But then they are a team in the process, right? And
but in this first leg, they are playing at home.
Honestly, in the first leg,
they are playing at home.
With the way Barcelona set up to play, Barcelona don't know home or away.
Yes.
They play their formation. They have a set tactics.
Line, tiki-taka.
They don't care whether they are playing you at home or away. They just want to be this entertaining side that really gets the ball at you. And you look at Newcastle, they can really upset them. Yeah. They've got speed monsters. They've got really quick players. The midfield attackers, they've got really quick and players that can bet. So it's a good matchup. I think it's a good matchup. But Barcelona, if they are able to, Barcelona will not try to hustle around with you. If they are able to get control of the midfield like they always like to do, I think it's already game over for Newcastle before they ever set foot on the pitch. All right.
Tottenham Hotspur will play with Atletico Madrid the first leg, and for Spurs, I don't even know how to qualify Tottenham Hotspur. This season they've been very poor. They sacked their manager. They have a new manager now, and then they've lost 2 Premier League games on the bounce. And if you check the Premier League log right now, they are just above relegation zone, maybe with 2 or 3 points. So they are not. They are close to the bottom 3.
They are so
but but in the Champions League, they've been decent, even under their former manager. Exactly. So you cannot use their league form to judge them. Talking about Tottenham Hotspur, the first leg will be away to Atletico Madrid against Diego Simeone's team, who just qualified for the final of the Spanish Copa del Rey, and then they are taking on Atletico Madrid. The first leg will be in Spain. I mean, how do you think this will pan out?
Yeah, these are 2 teams who...
you don't know what to expect from them.
You don't know what to expect from them.
Yeah.
Both of them are like dark horses in this competition, and they are teams that can really cause you pain too.
Yes, definitely.
If you're not careful. So, but then you look at their forms in the league. There are 2 polar sides. Tottenham, they are in abject form 17th. Right now. 17th, and they lose 2 more games now, and they are in
because West Ham, Nottingham Forest, over the week, they're also struggling. They're also fighting. West Ham won their last. So if they keep winning, Tottenham also will drop.
It's just like that's the situation for Tottenham right now.
Yeah.
And you can understand if. But I think they, like you said, they've been performing well in the Champions League this season. And but they're not a side that can really tell you that they've got what it takes to go ahead now. And especially with the change in manager, and honestly, I don't think they can go to Atletico Madrid and do something of an upset at Atletico. But
so can they get a draw at least? To take to
the thing is when you look at their performance last season in Europe and Man United too, both of them were
they won the Europa League last season,
and the performances in the league were so poor, so abject. But in Europe, they found consistency. They found a way around. If Tottenham, I don't know. Honestly, it's one of I think it's the only fixture that's getting me edgy. But I don't know what to expect from them. Okay. Of course, ideally you would think Atletico Madrid should get it done over with, but you're talking about Tottenham. I don't know.
That is impossible.
Honestly, it's just.
I mean, close to call. JJ, let's talk about Atalanta against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, also one of the most consistent teams in the league this season across Europe. Talking about Bayern Munich, they are top of the German Bundesliga table. They are playing away to Atalanta. The first leg will be in Bergamo, in Italy. Bayern Munich favorites going to this game, but you know that the Champions League is the Champions League. Sometimes it comes with its shock and upset. So, do you think that Atalanta can upset Bayern Munich in this game?
Well, I think there's a sort of romance between Bayern Munich and playing Italian teams.
Yeah.
They always find a way of being paired together with Italian teams, just like Real Madrid, Man City over the years now. Well, to say that upset in the Champions League, I understand you. For instance, my team, Bodo Glimt, beating Manchester City, beating Atletico Madrid, beating Inter.
See,
you can say the
issue is to beat over 2 legs.
Now, they did
over 2 legs.
Now, Toby, they did
that's
over 2 legs.
Against Inter Milan. Inter Milan.
Before you weren't saying that's Inter Milan. I remember that day you were saying they couldn't do it over 2 legs against Inter Milan.
That Inter Milan just a one-off. Just a one-off.
That's how you keep talking, and then before you know it, they are in the finals. And like I said, I see Bodo and Arsenal playing final, and let's not go there.
Interestingly, you know the funniest thing, they are in the same half. So if Arsenal gets to win, Arsenal will face Bodo Glimt in the quarterfinal.
In the quarterfinal.
Yeah.
I think now is the time for Arsenal to prioritize Premier League, FA Cup, and Champions, because Champions League is over for them. Once they play Bodo Glimt, now Atalanta Bayern Munich, I'm telling you, there's not going to be any upset about that.
Bayern will stroll into the quarterfinal.
Yeah, they are so true. They are so through. Bayern Munich, they are so through into the quarterfinals. No upset, no comebacks. I don't even think there's going to be any draw over 2 legs. Bayern Munich, go get the game. Then, one thing about Bayern is they do know how to get games done over with. And they won't give you the chance to try.
Harry Kane has scored more than 50 goals for club and country this season. That's crazy.
Bayern Munich don't give you the time to, pull this sort of story that touches the heart with them.
No. There's no comeback.
They don't want any romance sort of football. They want you to cry, and that's final.
Okay.
And I think that's German style.
Yeah.
Germans, they're not this compassionate. They don't really, they come at you with their heavy guns and bully you. Are you crying? In fact, it's like they revel in your cry. So that's exemplified in the Bayern team.
All right, let's talk about another German team, Bayer Leverkusen. They will take on Arsenal Football Club. That's the early kickoff game on Wednesday. Arsenal have been fantastic this season across all competitions. As a matter of fact, Arsenal have only lost 3 games all season. Aston Villa, they lost to Man United and Liverpool. These are the 3 games that they've lost this season. They're unbeaten in the Champions League. They're unbeaten in the Carabao Cup. They're unbeaten in the FA Cup. So they'll be fantastic.
They've been fantastic.
But the first leg is away at the Bay Arena against Bayer Leverkusen. Arteta rested most of his star players over the weekend in the FA Cup. So we expect them to be fresh for this game away. But people have been saying that, it's a giving for Arsenal, but this is the Champions League. Leverkusen, they are not a team that you can underrate. So Arsenal must be very careful. So do you think Arsenal can get a win, the first leg, a win in Germany? Because after this game now, they are playing Everton in the Premier League, and then they'll play Leverkusen in the second leg before they take on Man City in the Carabao Cup final. Do you think Arsenal can finish the job in the first leg?
Yeah, sure.
So it means that Arsenal will need to go to Germany and beat them, maybe 2-1, 3-1.
No, I think if Arsenal go there and beat 2-1.
So you think Arsenal can beat Leverkusen away from home?
Why not? They can.
Okay.
And I think they will, because this not. There's some of these fixtures that you look at them on paper and you say, okay, yeah, this a given for this.
Leverkusen, they're also a strong team. They're a solid team. They're not doing
team.
badly in the Bundesliga.
They're not the same Leverkusen as of
when they won the league
under Xabi Alonso. That was a proper.
And they've lost most of their star players.
That was a
Granit Xhaka, Jamie Frimpong.
Leverkusen side.
They lost.
So you really can't.
And the rest.
I'm telling you, we can't talk too much on that.
So
Arsenal, they will have it over 2 legs.
Right.
So they're just like Bayern Munich.
Okay, let's talk about the one that we have a lot of things to talk about. PSG Chelsea. Now, PSG.
I understand why you are pushing Bodo Glimt away. I know.
No, we'll talk about Bodo Glimt after this one. PSG will take on Chelsea. The world champions, Chelsea. It begins PSG, defending champions of the Champions League. They've been inconsistent this season. Talking about PSG, they've been struggling in the league, but they are top of the French League One. And for Chelsea are also in the top 5 in the Premier League. They've also been inconsistent. They struggled to win the FA Cup game over the weekend, but this is the UEFA Champions. This is a cup competition. Chelsea seems to understand how to play games like this. They're taking on PSG. They're beating PSG before. That was in the summer, 7 months ago in the FIFA Club World Cup. Do you think Chelsea can do it again, JJ?
And you see, one thing about Chelsea...
But Chelsea have a different manager now. They have Liam Rossinier. It was Enzo Maresca who
and if you look at
coached
Liam seems to struggle against big team with his setup. And like you said, they struggled so much against Wrexham. In fact, if not for VAR and some sort of luck on there, they would have been humiliated on that day. And then you look at PSG too. This team that got beat. They got beat over the weekend too. Monaco beat them at home 3-1, and their performances in their respective leagues have not been up to their standard.
Yeah.
And then you look at you look at them in Europe. Look at them in Europe, and then you understand that Chelsea. I think if you look at their performances,
Chelsea went to Napoli
Chelsea have been.
They've been decent.
Performing more decent
than PSG.
But
Chelsea qualified automatically.
But then you see what happened with PSG last year, and then you can understand why you think they can. They've got the experienced manager, Luis Enrique.
But they have some injury concerns as well.
They have injury, and I think that's what's been
likely not to be available. It's not likely to be available.
That's what's been really getting.
But because of that player, Bakola is there.
I tell you, Chelsea can use that as an advantage. Because I really...
But the first leg will be at the Parc des Princes.
I really like Chelsea. They've been... When you look at them playing in Europe this season...
They've been decent.
The performance they put off against Napoli...
Away from home.
was top performance. And it shows that Premier League teams... It seems that relatively in Europe, they find it easy to play in Europe.
Yeah.
Easier to play in Europe than playing in the league. And it's because this is bad by far.
Teams in
you look at them...
are too tactical. You understand?
There's
a way
there's this thing with familiarity.
Yes,
when they
know you very well. They know what you want to do.
And it's less physical in Europe, to be honest, than in the Premier League. The Premier League is just like you are running 100 miles per hour, 100 miles per hour every game, and it gets it. So Chelsea, really, I said the other time that I think I give it to Chelsea hedging the game out, to be honest, unless PSG can get their act together.
So you think that Chelsea will knock out the defending champions?
World champions, they are Chelsea.
What champion?
Beating European champions.
But this is the Champions League. This is the Champions League.
Champions League.
You know in that context. You know what I'm talking about. In that context, it's different.
Yeah, that can be. But I want to give it to Chelsea. Even though I'm not a fan of Chelsea, but I really think the performance in Europe can get them over the top with.
All right, let's talk about your club now. Bodo Glimt against Sporting CP.
Now we're talking.
Yes, I know that Bodo Glimt have been superb this season. They are beating Manchester City, they are beating Inter Milan. But against Sporting CP, two teams who are almost at par in terms of quality. And I mean, it's a close one to call. But do you agree that Bodo Glimt, they are the favourites going to this game against Sporting CP? Because they are beating Inter Milan, they are beating Manchester City. Do you think that they are the favourites or they are still the underdog that?
they're still an underdog.
But underdog that is beating Inter Milan, that's beating Manchester City.
If I had access to talk to Paulo Glimt, their players, I'll tell them, still look at yourself, consider yourselves as an underdog. Sometimes success can be intoxicating, and you want to think you are better than what you are or who you are. And right now, if Paulo Glimt are having that conception about themselves, they're going to find what we call reality check. Now, this reality check is, like you said, it's either you are hard,
you go hard or you go.
Go hard or you go home.
You go home.
So right now is the time for them to really be humble, work harder than ever before. To be honest with you, on paper and on performance level, they are better off
than Sporting
CP. And they can be Sporting CP. But
and they're playing at home the first.
They're playing, and I think that's where they've been killing teams.
Yes.
In fact,
they have a small stadium.
3-1 to Man City, 3-1 Inter Milan. So it's like, go there, come to our home, we slaughter you. Then we come to your home, you try to get yourself out of the cage, and we find a way to kill you again. Yeah. That's sort of like tactics they play. And that's why I'm confident about them. They've played at home to Man City and Inter Milan and beaten them 3-1, the two games. And they also went to Atletico Madrid. And we both know how playing away to Atletico Madrid can be so difficult. Definitely. Especially under Diego Simeone.
Yeah.
This same Atletico Madrid beat Barcelona 3-0 and they're home. So you look at this thing and it's like home and away now. This team, and like I tell you, they are compact. The thing I like about them is they are compact. They're a team. Honestly, they are a team. They've been together and they have about 9 Norwegian players in that team, and so they've gelled and they are fearless. Okay. They are very brave and bold on the ball. So honestly, I am giving them.
You think they are going to win over 2 legs?
When I'm talking about certain teams, I'm not thinking.
You know.
I know.
Okay.
I'm almost certain that
we'll come back to
Bodo are going to be Sporting CP.
Let's talk about the biggest of this tie.
Of them all.
Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu against Manchester City. Now, for Real Madrid, they have a lot of injury crisis. Rodrigo is out for the rest of the season, and he also missed the World Cup. So just imagine
it's an acute
and then for Kylian Mbappe is also out injured. We don't know. Mbappe will be out.
They're trying to avoid surgery.
Yes, for Kylian
Mbappe. And I think it's going to backfire in the end.
Because the World Cup is just how many months?
Now, if he does make it to play in the knockout stages and makes it to the World Cup too, I'm pretty sure that his career is not going to be.
Yeah. But I don't think Mbappe will be available for this game. That will be
we don't know. The way they are being quite secretive.
About
I see there's something shady about the way they are handling
He didn't play over the weekend.
But the way they've been handling the Kylian Mbappe injury, it's quite shady. There's something is not just adding up. They're not telling us the full story.
Maybe they want to shock Manchester City.
If he plays tomorrow against Man City, but if he does play against Man City, I'm thinking just like when Rooney played for Man United those days, a lot of painkillers and all that, and that's why his career couldn't go past that level. So Kylian Mbappe is. I feel for him, honestly.
But based on current form, Manchester City going to this game, they are more.
Based on current form, Man City
are more pumped up for this game. They've been fantastic.
You see, the thing
apart from that,
Madrid is
draw with Nottingham Forest.
You can play against Madrid and be the better team for 88 minutes.
You still lose.
And even be winning up to 88 minutes.
And then they just find 1 minute of magical moments, and that's how they beat you. That's that.
About 2-3 seasons ago,
the
way they broke Man City's heart, that was devastating.
Like 2 minutes.
Man City knew they were already through. Their destiny were in their own hands. And just about. I think it's a space of 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
And the tides turned, and Madrid won. So it's just when they're playing the Champions League, you can be sure that they sort of like have a way around that competition.
But the first leg, do you think Madrid will win?
Yeah.
Or you draw 1-1? Because historically it has always been very close. The first leg.
Yeah, I think when your performance is good and you are playing against the top side in Champions League, even if they have not been playing well in their league, and I think Madrid have not been playing too well too in the Champions League. That's the case now. But then when you are playing against two top sides are playing against each other in the Champions League, especially if it has to do with Real Madrid, you can be sure, like I said, they can be non-existent for most of the game,
and then
they find a way to.
They have the Champions League.
They've got players up front that can really hurt you.
Experience Vinicius Junior is still there.
So Vinicius, he's like a one-man a battalion.
Because he has to step up now.
He has to step up, and he's been delivering, to be honest. Okay. So, but the thing is, Man City themselves, they're a killer of a squad right now, and they really want to give
the addition of Antoine Semenyo and Maguire.
So I think that first leg, maybe a draw can
then they'll finish it over the Etihad.
And then Etihad will decide what's going to happen. But you can be sure that Bernabeu is not going to decide what happens over the two legs.
All right. Wow, a lot has been said. Let's get your predictions. Let's get your thoughts. Our first leg of the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League. That's this where it becomes interesting, maybe controversial as well.
Yes, I just hope that the Champions League this season can be as interesting as last season. And PSG gave us memories.
Yeah, of course.
Honestly, they gave us memories. They won the heart of so many people, enjoyed their heart. And I hope this season there's a team who can do that.
Maybe
right now, I think I have a team that has been doing that for me. They have got me on their side, and I really hope that I can go to that Bodo Glimt, or if I can have a conversation with them, and they know that apart from Norway, in the whole world right now, the top one fan they have is the world. I just like them, and I really hope they can go far. But when you look at the fact that they are going to play against Arsenal.
That's if they win. If Arsenal, yes, they are not playing Arsenal. They are playing Sporting CP. They need to beat Sporting CP first. Then Arsenal will need to beat Leverkusen.
Maybe I think Arsenal won't beat Leverkusen, but I know that Bodo Glimt are going to beat Sporting.
All right.
Sporting have come to the end of. They just collect that round of 16 money and go home.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Well, until next time that we are going to meet, I remain to be.
And I'm JJ. Please don't forget to subscribe, and subscription is free. Like, turn on the notification bell, comment, engage our posts so we can bring more content to your way. Thank you. Bye.